Welcome back to another Millennial in Debt Money Talk. Today we're talking about ways that you can make your children rich, right? So generational wealth is not just a fun term that we're throwing around with financial literacy and debt-free community. It's not just that. It's actually something that's really, really, really important. I saw this meme on the internet where it says that if you did not come from a rich family, then a rich family must come from you. And I could not agree more, which is why this is happening, right? So we're going to talk about 3 different ways that you can ensure generational wealth for your future children. A lot of times we will hear, especially since I'm a high school teacher, kids will talk about they wish they knew about taxes, they wish they knew about stocks and bonds, they wish they knew about all these things. And it really sucks that us as adults used to or still do sometimes tell kids, oh, you'll enjoy your time as a child, you'll learn about that in the future, or you'll figure it out in the future. And that's what has led us to a generation of millennials who are figuring things out now in the future, when it would be really beneficial and amazing to have known this in the past. So one of the things that I think is truly, truly, truly important for you to build generational wealth in your family, in your upcoming family, your future children, all those things, is to really get your children into stocks and bonds early. Now, the government has changed the way that we do stocks and bonds. It used to be super, super, super easy to give kids bonds when they were little, and they would just like turn them in when they get older, and then bam, money. I know that I had actual paper bonds that I was getting for my first birthday, my first Christmas, all these things, and I just turned my last bond in August of 2019 to book a trip to New Orleans. And my other bonds that reached maturity a little earlier, I used it to buy furniture, as well as the other stocks and bonds that I invested in on my own as an adult. Those things helped me to kind of furnish my home. So I've always been really thankful that my parents, although they didn't do everything that I know about now, they did a really good job in helping me understand the importance of money and kind of learn how to navigate it well. So just because it is more difficult to give children stock and bonds does not mean that you should just kind of throw your hands up and just be like, well, I'll buy them a pair of sneakers. Sneakers are lovely, but sneakers are not going to pay the bills when they are 18, 19 years old. Instead, what you can do is you can set up a custodial account. I recommend E-Trade only because that is what I use, and I know a few of my other friends who use E-Trade as well. And the whole purpose of that is when you open up the custodial account for them, you can buy stocks in companies that they really like and enjoy, or you can buy stocks in companies that you know are going to do pretty well. And so this time when they're 18, 19, 20 years old, and they have these accounts and they have these stocks that have been growing for all these years, it really just helps them to learn about stocks in general, and also gives them a leg up, an advantage. Their net worth is increasing from the time they are a child, which is one of the major ways to secure generational wealth, is to make sure you have a positive net worth that keeps going upward and not falling down into debt, which gives you a negative net worth. So definitely think about opening a custodial account. You can buy little Disney stocks, you can buy Uber, you can buy Amazon if you got the coin. One of my biggest regrets is not buying Amazon stock when it was $600. And now it's $2,000. And that's the reason why it's so important for you to start with the stocks now. And even if you don't know a lot about stocks, learn. You learn, your children will learn, and then by the time they're 18 or 19, they're looking at $1 million net worth and not having to deal with student loans. All right, the second way that you can ensure generational wealth for your children is by opening a 529. Now, what a 529 is, it's a government savings plan, so it's a little different from an actual like bank savings account. And essentially what it does, it uses the money that you put into the account and it invests it the way the government does, right? Same thing with a bank account. They take your money, they do what they got to do with it, but it's just there for you when you need it. It is an educational savings plan, so the point is to use it for college. I know that if your child decides not to go to college, they still do have access to the money, but they will pay some sort of penalty or fee. I think it's 10% of whatever the total amount is. I'm not 100% sure. But the reason that I really like 529s is that you can have people gift into the 529. So instead of giving you the cash or giving you gifts or books, which books are important to give to children, but it really makes it easy because stocks and bonds are a lot more difficult to give to children. A 529 allows people to donate or gift money into the account so that your child is pretty much building a savings account for college from the time that they are born. So 529 is a tax advantage savings plan, and it's really beneficial to your child from a little age, whether they're just born. And if you haven't opened up a 529 for your kid by now, it's fine. It's never too late to kind of start investing in the future. So open one up. I highly recommend it. And the third and final way to ensure that your child is on the right path to achieve generational wealth for years, generations to come is to open up a savings account. Now, I know that's like, oh, well, the 529 is a savings account. Oh, the custodial whatever is kind of like a savings account. That's all good and well, but you need to have a savings account in your child's name that you do not touch unless you are adding money into it. Now, if you do not have a 529, or even if you do have a 529, and people give you cash and all sorts of other monetary gifts for your child, you can split that amount. You can put some towards the 529, some towards the regular savings account. I highly recommend doing a high yield savings account, especially since you can't touch it anyway. A digital account will probably give you the better interest as opposed to like a Chase or a Citibank where it's going to be like 0.001% interest. I have a Capital One 360. I'll link that sign up down below. I forget what the percentage is of interest, but it's one of the higher yielding interest rates for savings accounts. And the reason you want to have a regular savings account for your child is you never know what is going to happen that you are going to need to kind of fund for them. And also, it's a really good way to teach them as they get older, as they get an allowance, which I don't think I ever really got. But if you give them an allowance or if they get a job, teaching them how to save from a really young age and having the savings account there for them, right? Even if they're just putting in a few dollars a week or a few dollars a month, it is teaching them the value in saving. My parents did that for me from when I was 6 or 5 years old. I had a savings account in my name, and whenever I would get birthday gifts or Christmas gifts or anything monetary, I would be able to keep a certain percentage, and then I would have to put another percentage into my savings account, right? So it teaches really good practice. And by the time, again, that they're 18, and if you've been doing this for them from the time they were born, it's going to be a really big chunk of change, right? And they can use it to buy a car. They can use it to invest. They can use it to do all sorts of things, learn about passive income. Setting them up for really good monetary practices from a young age really will substantiate or will differentiate the outcome that they have when they become of age, when they can work and start making a lot more money. So those are the 3 things that you can do to ensure generational wealth for your child. You're building passive income, you're building a college fund, you're trying to keep them out of debt, and all of these things not only make you a really good parent, but also make you really smart, and will make your child really smart as well. And that's it. See you in the next one. Bye.